Hi everyone, happy Jen here today. I've had a lot of negative vlogs lately. Timestamp, it is the day before the 1-year anniversary of my double mastectomy. If I had a penny for every time I said mastectomy. So tomorrow, my older son flew the coop, went back to college. Tomorrow, I was thinking, what should I do? And it just turns out he needs some stuff and help with moving in and stuff. So I'm going to go out to see him. So that'll be a nice distraction from thinking of the 1 year, what happens? Do I get a cake? No, you don't get a shirt. As far as I know, it'd be cool if they sent shirts. Happy birthday, Foobs. That'd be a nice shirt to get. Anyway, I've had a lot of negative vlogs lately. Mostly because people have been commenting on my prior vlogs from a while ago, and I don't really watch my old vlogs. I just put them up there, and I don't know, hope it helps somewhat. It definitely helps me to get it out of my system, but it's not all awful. Not that it's roses and sunshine, but being that I'm this far out, I do want to focus on a bit of the positive today. I'm out clearly kayaking. It's been a very stressful, probably month or so. I feel like I've had so much negative stuff going on, just trying stuff. And it puts me in a place of do I want to handle this the way old Jen handled this, or do I want to handle this the way that post-cancer Jen handles this? You change. You get a cancer diagnosis and you change. Your priorities change, how you handle shit changes, and it's hard trying to, this far out now that I'm 12 months out, 11 months and 364 days, whatever. And when you have surgery, at first they're oh, you'll feel better after week 2. Some people only take 2 weeks off of work. I don't know how the hell you do that. I'm on these, if any of you are on these Facebook groups or whatever, pages, whatever, and people post I have my double mastectomy scheduled for next week, how much time should I take off of work? And all the people with their Superwoman shirts on are I took 2 weeks. Oh, I only took 1 week off. And I'm what? Originally they had to be 6 weeks, but because of my arm being non-functional, and probably I was in other pain, I don't remember that long ago, I took 12 weeks. I took 12 weeks out. I never take time for, past tense, never took time for me. I don't really like where I'm kayaking right now. My kayak is super small. It is not the pimped out version that I had usually, that I can just put my phone someplace and talk. It is very tight quarters in here. Anyway, so I want to focus on some of the positive today, and talking about who you are before cancer and who you are after, and who you want to be going forward. Because the 1 year milestone is a big deal, and then it's okay, now what? And I think a lot of my stressors, they've been things that are out of my control. I'm definitely less of a control freak than I used to be, because didn't have control over this. You have to put your life in other people's hands, and here I am, and I lost 3 pounds, 2.8, whatever, according to the scale. I've been more active, which is great. I'm doing more stuff with my core, because it seems that's where I'm carrying most of the weight. And I know once my core slims down, my face will slim down too. I haven't really been limiting food, but I have been adjusting slightly. I took my portions down a hair from what I was doing before. Yeah. So, but then, things come up with I don't know, at work. Actually yesterday was my 8-year anniversary at my job. So it was weird to look back and reflect on the past year and what I've done and stuff. And I'm I really kicked ass the past year. Given all the shit that happened, I still was a really good employee, cleaned up a lot of garbage that got messed up when I was out. But then, you think of like pre-cancer Jen would like run around like a chicken with her head cut off. And I'm not like that anymore. Yet I tend to, I think like many people, I tend to just defer to that way. But then I notice more like I'm not sleeping well, like I'm not comfortable, like, I get stomach aches, or I've had pounding headaches, and part of it is because of not sleeping enough, because I'm stressed out. And like one day I forgot my gabapentin in the morning, and that threw off my whole body temperature thing. And I don't want to take a lot of gabapentin because I don't want to get tired, because they do make me tired. But then I don't get hot flashes. Which one do you want to do? But it's a weird balance right now of who was I before, and who do I choose to be now. I know the Jen that like can wear a business suit with high heels and briefcase and walk around 1,000 miles an hour. And then I also know the Jen post-surgery that was like food, clothing, shelter. That is all I can handle. Meditate a lot, listen to other people, like you don't really have control. You're putting your life in the hands of like your team of doctors. And I just found out that my breast surgeon is going to Texas, like permanently, which, like, what am I going to do? Hopefully I won't need her again. I don't have breasts, so why would you need a breast surgeon? But I do have my plastic surgeon, and hopefully he's not going anywhere. I am looking forward to having my boobs, or my booba, tweaked, just because it is a little off center, and I've talked about that in other vlogs too. But it's funny because I noticed that, and as I've become more accepting of my body, which has really just happened in the past month, even though I've been more stressed than usual, I've given my body more of a break. Like, I did play tennis. I've been more active. I did play tennis, like an actual like game, or set a bunch of games for like an hour, and I played pretty well. But I did hit a point where I'm like, you know what? I can't serve anymore. It just hurts. I had to, just bounce it and hit it, which was fine. Like, I listen to my body more. I have a hard time doing that at work because I want to be like, I'm in the zone doing something, and most of my tasks, well, not most, but a few of my tasks take a large amount of time to get done. But I can't sit for like, hours upon hours without like getting up and moving. And that's a big change for me, especially coming from my former world where I used to be a middle school teacher. Your time is not your own when you're a teacher. You are on the schedule. Like, you are only allowed to use the bathroom, at one, two, three times or whatever it is. And those times are, you can't listen to your body. You have to listen to the schedule, because you can't just like get up and leave your kids in the classroom by themselves while you go use the bathroom. So you have to like make sure you go during lunch, or, try to run really quick in between periods or something. Anyway, one of the reasons why I'm not teaching anymore. But when I first went back to work after surgery, like I said, I took 12 weeks off. When I first went back, I was taking breaks, I think like every hour. Like, I'd go outside and take a little walk, or I'd, I have a lap desk, like used for computers, whatever. So I would get up and I would go in another room and sit on a couch and use the lap desk instead of sitting at my computer, like all things to help with my arm. And now, like, my arm doesn't hurt as much, which is good. I mean, it means I'm doing the right things, or my body's doing the right things. But then I don't want to go back into being like work mode of running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So it's a very delicate balance of like, of who you are and what you want to be. The interesting thing too is now that like things are, I hate to say settling down, because they're better. It's not perfect, but stuff with the pandemic is definitely better than it was before. And like, especially really going back to work, I'm seeing more people. And people I haven't seen since all this stuff happened. And I'm like, do they know? Do they don't know? Do they not know? Yeah, so it is, and I find myself when I'm explaining my story, like there's just so much negative, or people just assume a lot of negative. Like, they look at me like, oh, like this must hurt and this must suck, blah, blah, blah. There's never I mean, why would you be happy talking about a cancer diagnosis? But people tend to just go to the negative so much more quickly than like, I mean, I do hear the like, you look great kind of thing, you know, to which I respond, thank you, instead of, oh, I gained, you know, 25 pounds, whatever stupid number I had. Anyway. But there is a very delicate balance of like characteristics of who you were then, characteristics of like what you were like going through the cancer treatment process, and like what things are like now. And, you know, a very large reason that I'm doing these vlogs, I mean, yes, to get it out for me and to help other people, but it's the misconceptions. It's the misconceptions that I really hope that people take home with them after watching these vlogs of mine. Because I didn't know about things either. You know, you figure you have breast cancer, you have your boobs, you know, chopped off. No, a mastectomy is not a boob job. I hate that. I will say one freakish thing, and I have to ask about how this works, because I don't quite understand it. But as I'm being more active, like getting my cardio and like my heart rate up while I'm exercising, I'm noticing that when I sweat really easily anyway, regardless of stuff that happened with the cancer. Like, I'll play tennis before all this stuff happened and my face will just be like beet red. But I come inside and I get undressed and I look in the mirror and you can see the increased blood flow everywhere. But then you see this really creepy outline on my boobs. And when I touch it, it's like, the red parts are the parts I can feel, and then there's the outline, and then there's like the part that's not red I can't feel. So that just happened in the past like couple of weeks, but I haven't, like I said, I really hadn't been doing a lot of like cardio stuff before. So if that happens to you, like, don't freak out. You know, I'll ask plastics about it. I mean, it makes sense because you know, you can't feel. And then after some time, like the discoloration just went away. I did ask my physical therapist for more KT tape, because I haven't used the tape in quite a while, and the tape was definitely helping with getting feeling back. I have hope that a year from now, I will have significantly more feeling in my boobs than what I have now. And those mysterious little lines will be way smaller than they are. Sometimes I think, like, when I do these vlogs, that, like, potential suitors are watching and they're like, ugh, you know, but trust me, if you saw my boobs, you wouldn't think that. I mean, yes, they have a scar, but the outline of them is kind of pretty. I mean, they're not saggy like my other boobs were, you know? That's a good thing. I have to paddle out of here. Hang on. Sorry. I have a really crappy kayak today. And it's like wicked sunny outside. Anyway. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to end up doing, I'm like smacking the sun now. What I think I'm going to end up doing is like making a list of like old gen characteristics and new gen characteristics. And like, what do I want to keep from old me? And what do I want to keep from, you know, post-cancer gen? Like post-cancer gen is like what I'm doing right now is like, you know, I'm going to not do all the chores I had to do. I need a friggin' break. It's Friday. I need a break. I've had a really tough couple of weeks. My older son left for college. My younger son is leaving for college in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. And I just need to breathe. I just need to breathe and I just need quiet. If any of my friends are watching, I know some of them are like, I want to go kayaking with you. And sometimes I just need to be out here where it's like quiet and it's just peaceful. I mean, you look at the water and it's just peaceful. The lake I'm on right now is a lot, there's a lot less activity than where I usually go. So there's not really any current or anything. But to be able to just like stop life and listen to me, like my body and my brain, all of it just needed a break. I needed to stop thinking. I just needed to breathe and be. And while like pre-cancer Jen, sure, I'd go meditating or, I'd go kayaking, but, the reason for it is different. A positive attribute about post-cancer Jen, I love even that I'm using that term because somebody at work that stopped in to visit the other day said to me, so you cancer free? And I said, I don't know. I'm like, how does anyone know that they're cancer free? I didn't mean to be so negative and doom and gloom. But I'm like, I don't know if there's a cancer cell in the billions and trillions of cells that are in my body. I don't know, my boobs are out, but, I mean, I don't know, yeah. No doctor has told me I have cancer, so I guess that makes me cancer-free. And like I said, I don't mean to be negative, it's just I don't know. I haven't been given the certificate that said you graduated, you're cancer-free. I don't know. And that's not really a pessimistic thing of me saying that. It's more I just don't know. I know people go for their check-ins and there's some term, no cancer detected or something like that. I have that appointment with oncology in, I think next month. Because you don't get an oncologist right away when you have breast cancer. Hold on, I gotta move out of here. It's hot. I always give you such great views, but I'm just nervous because there's no really good place to put my phone. There is no USB cord or USB cord and phone holder on this kayak, but I have to get out of the sun. I also am way more conscious of protecting my skin. I'm fair-skinned anyway. There's a cop. I'm fair-skinned anyway, but I'm much more protective of I don't want to get skin cancer. I stopped using my nonstick pans in my kitchen because I don't want Teflon, whatever. I don't know, but I am a much more healthy eater. Yeah, so, and when it comes to people, because I don't know, I guess relationships always seem to come up when I'm discussing this whole process and stuff. I'm not chasing people like I used to do. I don't mean, I guess, well, I don't know if romantically, I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking more friends, family, that kind of thing. I don't chase people anymore. It's I know how precious life is, and I know how precious I am. Holy crap, it's sunny. And I'm just doing me right now. I've made already a decision for the next year. I just need to focus still on me and fully healing and easing back. I do need to work full time. Because my kids are going to both be gone. I was very excited this morning. I got a text from someone who I'm tutoring her daughter in 2 weeks. So it's super awesome that I get to be back in that world again. So if you're local and looking for a math tutor, let me know. But I'm easing into it. I'm not going from 0 to 100. I know my body's doing well, is doing so much better. If you're newly diagnosed and it just seems everything is so far away, because it is, it truly, even the fact that I'm just resting my hand here, because my boobs are here, I'm not, it doesn't hurt. I'm still uncomfortable sleeping, but part of that is I need a new mattress, and I will be working on that in the next month probably. I can't really get comfortable. I'm snoring at night, which I didn't used to do. And I think a lot of that's the weight gain. And the fact that I'm sleeping on my back, which I don't usually do, but over time will get more comfortable sleeping on my, or even being on my stomach. So yeah, I guess that's where I am really right now. It's just finding characteristics of who you were before, what worked for you and what didn't. Hold on to the things that worked, and then the things that didn't, let it go. You realize, I mean, obviously you realize how precious life is and how things that used to be a really big deal just like aren't a big deal. You know, it's like, how stressed do you want to get over something? Like, there's some people in this world who are just like drowning in drama. No, thank you. I don't, if it's family, if it's friends, whatever, I cannot be around people that are drowning in drama. Even though when people hear my story, they think I'm drowning in drama. But as a whole, like, I'm really not. Because I think, you know, I've handled like, yes, a lot of shit comes my way. And much of it I have no control over. And I'm proud of how I handle it. I'm so pro-gen right now. Yeah. Like my left boob, even when I go in to get it fixed and stuff, like I still feel like, you know, way back forever ago when I dropped my phone on my boob, I swear I still did something to it because it just looks different than the right one. So I'm going to go to plastics and be like, dude, can you make this one look like that one, you know? If you can like take my, you know, all my breast tissue out and put these implants in and make them look like the boobs that they are, then you can tweak this. Like, I have full confidence in him. He's awesome. He's just awesome. He's so awesome. He's just chill and he's caring. And I'm so happy that I found him. So happy. And so happy that I didn't settle with the first plastic surgeon that I talked to. If you're not happy with something, like, you've got to speak up. You've got to speak up. Like, respectfully and stuff, but you have to speak up. You have to be your best advocate. If you have questions, just ask. You know, there's too much fear and negativity in this world. And you got to find the good. So I hope that, like, turns things around, you know. If, like I said, if you're just diagnosed, 12 months seems like forever. Because, you know, they say first, like, yeah, it'll be better after 2 weeks because you'll feel, you know, this will happen. And then they're like, no, you know, 3 months. That's when things start getting, you know, you'll feel like your old self again. Ugh. And then they're like, no, it's really 6 months. And then when you get to 6 months, it's like a lot of stuff settles down. And they're like, you know, it really is 12 to 18 months. Like, for any surgery, it's like 12 to 18 months is what it takes. And I could totally get that because, like, you know, aside from scars, which are getting, like, substantially lighter, and it's not even been a year. It'll be a year tomorrow. Besides scars, like, you know, I feel like I have a lot of my pre-body back. I mean, yes, I have the weight gain. I know it won't stay there because I'm a healthy person and I need to, you know, sort that out. You know, there are things that I can work on that I do have control over. Yeah. So that's where I am, you know. Who knows where I'll be at the 18-month mark. Just didn't want to keep everything so, like, negative. I'm just trying to be, like, informative and, you know, oh, there's a chipmunk. I don't know if you could see that. He's kind of far away. Yeah, he's too far away. Super cute. Imagine a chipmunk. He just went behind a log. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't mean to be so negative, but I just, you know, I want to be informative as to what's going on, because people just, I think, try to be martyrs that, like, you know, I was so great. I was, you know, wearing underwear bras a week after surgery. You know, that's just absurd. I haven't even worn, I wore an underwire bra once for, like, 5 minutes and then took it off. I don't need one, which is nice. But I'm not ready for that yet. You know, I can take my hand, put it on my boob and move it all around, which is awesome because I couldn't do that a while ago. So, you know, like I said, if you're just starting off with this whole journey, Rome wasn't built in a day. Your new body isn't going to be rebuilt in a day. And I'm in such a poor spot right now. It's like, ugh. A weird perk of all the breast cancer stuff is I'm just trying to move myself away from the rocks. Hold on a second. Ugh. Is that your abs get in really good shape because you really can't use your arms much in the beginning. So don't forget that, like, keep up with that ab stuff, because I wish I had done that from before. Yeah, and that, like, it's not over, but, like, whatever, you know, like, I'll be on the Lupron for another year and then hope my body is just naturally in menopause at that point. Whatever, the Zameda, I have 2 more years of, and even that, it's like, yeah, it sucks for the day. Well, actually, that day isn't super horrible, whatever. It's just the side effects afterwards. But it's a couple of days in the grand scheme of, like, life, And the tamoxifen, I mean, yeah, the side effects suck. But what are you going to do? Like, I started the gabapentin to help with the hot flashes. That's helped. I could wear, like, this color shirt and not just wear, like, black all the time. Yeah. I don't know. And the tendonitis and the Achilles tendonitis is just awful. It's keeping me from doing stuff. Like, I'm not walking as much. Like, at the end of the day, it's like they just hurt. And I'll bring it up. I mean, you can't solve everything in one day, too. If there's like 25 things that are bothering you, just chip away at it. Chip away at it, but don't let things just like slide. Yeah. And soon, because I had to go for a dentist cleaning too, I'm going to schedule an appointment to get my tooth fixed. I had an ultrasound. I don't know if I mentioned this. This has nothing to do with the breast cancer other than the fact that I got a kidney stone, which was so rando. And really, to me, the kidney stone was a sign that there was something that's like seriously wrong with me, because like, why would I have a kidney stone? So for me, like I went for an ultrasound because it's been almost 2 years now since the stone. And my kidneys are totally clear, which is awesome. So I really think that my parathyroid hormone levels were really high. That's what caused the progression of things that led to the stone. And I really, truly think that that happened because I had cancer and I just didn't know it. And my body was like just firing something, and its way of telling me, like, sister, something's up, was the kidney stone. And they're horrible. So make sure you drink enough water. And don't eat too much like spinach and almonds. And, well, that's funny because I have a sandwich with me that has almonds in it. But I do have a lot of water with me too. All right, I'm going to sign off and eat something and paddle a bit. And just remind you that, the waters are choppy a lot during this process. But there are lessons, just life lessons, things to learn and help you grow, to be a happier person and to be a more peaceful person. And that just seems weird after such a big diagnosis, but it is what it is. So be thankful that you're here, because obviously you're watching. Every day is so precious. And like I said, if you're going through this process and you're where I am right now, that's my 2 bits of advice, is to make a list of characteristics of yourself. What were you like before that was working for you? And then, you can make a list of what wasn't too, to make sure not to do those things. And like, what things have you learned from this process? Things about yourself, like, when you first got diagnosed and you don't even know what the hell is going on. You don't know what stage you are at, none of that. And, you're getting wills together and all sorts of shit. And it's like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. Life just looks so different. And all of a sudden you realize like what your priorities are, who you want to be around, like what's truly important to you. Those things, like, what's truly important to you and what truly makes you happy. Like, those are the things that you need to hold on to. Lots of shifts, But I feel like you take those 2 people, you put them together, and it makes for a new you going into your post-cancer diagnosis life. And, lead that life in a powerful way. All right, I'm going now. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at, and I will see you all soon. Bye.